Equals, you know that feeling when the dog park bench feels colder than the letter in your hands? The results envelope sits heavy, crisp and white against your denim-covered thigh. Your friend beside you has changed, not just in the way her hair is shorter or how she wears different glasses, but in something deeper, a distance that vibrates between you like static electricity. The golden morning light cuts harsh shadows across the empty park. No dogs today. Just you, this letter, and Sarah, who used to know everything about you and now feels like a stranger wearing a familiar skin. Your fingers trace the sealed envelope's edge. One movement could reveal everything: acceptance, rejection, the next chapter of your life mapped out in bureaucratic ink. Sarah's silence speaks volumes. Her new corporate job, her carefully curated LinkedIn persona, the way she checks her phone every 3 minutes, all of it feels like an indictment. You're still the one waiting for results, still uncertain. She's already decided who she wants to be. Your stomach knots. Breath shallow. Hands slightly trembling. This is how the blind will operates, pushing you forward without your consent, creating desires you didn't choose, generating suffering as its fundamental language. Schopenhauer would recognize this moment instantly, a perfect tableau of human striving and inevitable disappointment. The envelope remains unopened. The decision hangs suspended. Equals, and in this moment, you understand, the waiting is often more painful than the result itself. Equals, that fear you just felt? It is costing you more than you realize. Arthur Schopenhauer understood something profound about human suffering. We are driven by a blind, relentless will that churns beneath every action, every hesitation. This will doesn't care about your comfort, it demands movement, consumption, perpetual wanting. And when you ignore its mechanics, you leak energy like a punctured boat, slowly sinking without even noticing. Consider 3 moments where inaction devours your potential. You're in your bedroom at 3 a.m., moonlight cutting silver rectangles across hardwood. Your dance client's dismissive email from yesterday still burns. You should be sleeping, but instead you're tracing choreography patterns on the ceiling, muscles twitching with unrealized movements. Your hands, cold, slightly trembling, hover above imaginary dance floors. The waiting is killing you softly, waiting for feedback, for validation, for permission to be excellent. Your spine rigid, breath shallow, you know something is slipping away, but the will to challenge that slip feels impossibly heavy. In the teacher's lounge, harsh overhead lights humming, you're sorting through photography contact sheets. Your neighbor, the one you've avoided for months, is somehow here, reflected in the glass. Your latest project feels like an unfinished conversation, each image a fragment of something larger you can't quite articulate. Moving trucks arrive in an hour. Equals, everything is transitioning, and you're caught between documenting and disappearing. The bookstore's philosophy section feels like a sanctuary and a judgment. Newborn strapped to your chest, job loss paperwork folded in your bag, you're surrounded by thinkers who understood human vulnerability. Your body, exhausted, unraveling, doesn't recognize this tiny human yet. The commute home feels like a negotiation with yourself. Will you go home? Can you rebuild? The will churns underneath, demanding survival. Each moment reveals the same truth: inaction is not peaceful. It's a slow erosion, a quiet violence against your potential. Your desires don't rest, they transform, they leak, they find expression whether you're conscious of them or not. The question isn't whether you'll be moved by your will. The question is, will you learn to navigate its currents with intention? Equals, so why do we do this to ourselves? The answer lies in a fundamental misunderstanding. You're standing in the hardware store paint section, fingers tracing color swatches, when your younger self materializes between the Benjamin Moore display and the drop cloths. It's the last day before everything splits, before the choice that will fracture your life into before and after. Your younger self looks exhausted, wearing that faded blue jacket you'd forgotten existed, paint stains on the cuffs from some long ago project. The sodium lights overhead cast an orange-yellow glow across rows of pristine paint cans. Your hands, older now, more lined, are trembling slightly. Not from cold, but from recognition. You see now how every choice is a tiny death, how each decision closes some doors forever while opening others. Your younger self doesn't know yet. Doesn't understand that the paint color isn't just a paint color. It's a metaphor. It's a declaration. It's a boundary being drawn between who you were and who you're becoming. The train announcement crackles overhead, delayed. Cause unknown, and suddenly you're in another memory. Lunch break. The facade you've carefully constructed is cracking like cheap plaster. You're thinking about the person you never apologized to, the addiction you're still wrestling into submission. Your breath catches in your throat. Shallow. Restricted. Equals Schopenhauer understood this. We are slaves to a blind, irrational will that drives us forward without mercy. Not reason. Not logic. Just pure, relentless desire moving through us like an underground river. In the cemetery, standing by a grave, you're preparing to have the conversation with your employee, the one you know you must fire. First day after everything changed. The cooking ritual you've maintained for years suddenly feels hollow. Meaningless. The will moves through you. Blind. Persistent. Unforgiving. Your transformation starts not in grand gestures, but in these microscopic moments of recognition. When you see the mechanism. When you understand that suffering isn't a punishment, it's just the default state of existing. And in seeing it, you're already beginning to transcend it. Equals now that we understand where this wisdom comes from, let us break down exactly how it works. The will operates like an underground river, surging beneath your consciousness, driving you in ways you can't immediately see. Take the 4 a.m. moment, steam still clinging to bathroom mirrors, your new lover's toothbrush sitting alien beside yours. Promotion politics have twisted your spine into a question mark. Your reflection looks back, tired eyes mapping out corporate chess moves, jaw clenched so tight the muscle twitches. You're calculating how to outmaneuver Johnson from accounting, how to position yourself without seeming desperate. The will isn't just ambition, it's the blind, relentless force pushing you forward, making you believe this moment matters more than your actual peace. Then there's the holiday hair salon, neon sign bleeding red through plate glass. Your ex-friend's name sits on your tongue like an unswallowed pill. The stylist's scissors click against your ear, and you're remembering the performance of your last shared laugh, how performative it all was. Schopenhauer would say this moment proves suffering is the default, wanting connection, yet knowing reconnection means reopening old wounds. Your hands grip the salon chair's armrest, knuckles white with the tension of unspoken stories. And then the medical bureaucracy's waiting room at the auto mechanic, where time stretches like an endless, beige hallucination. Equals you're alone, judging your own reflection in the greasy window. No information, no timeline, just suspended animation. Your breath comes shallow. The will reveals itself here too, not as grand ambition, but as the fundamental urge to keep existing, to wait, to endure. Each scenario whispers the same truth: you are not truly in control. The will moves through you, a current stronger than your conscious choices. Recognition is the first step toward freedom, seeing the blind desire, witnessing its machinery without becoming its slave. Your transformation begins in this moment of clear-eyed observation. Not by fighting the will, but by understanding its relentless pulse. Equals here is where everything shifts. This is not just a technique, it is a complete transformation. You're standing in the empty gym locker room, your father-in-law's disapproving stare burning into your back. Your hands tremble as you try to fold his sweater, the one he wore before the stroke took his independence. Your spine feels rigid, locked between duty and resentment. Each movement is slow, deliberate, painful. Your body refuses to rush, even as the clock ticks mercilessly. The sodium lights from the parking lot cast orange rectangles across the tile, creating harsh geometric shadows that match the angular tension in your shoulders. The will operates here, not as your choice, but as a blind force pushing you through this moment. You recognize now how desire and suffering are intertwined. Your desire to be a good son-in-law, your suffering in this impossible performance, his desire to maintain control, his suffering in losing it. Then something breaks. Not dramatically, but quietly. You realize the sweater doesn't matter. Your worth isn't measured by perfect folding or speed. The philosopher's insight crystallizes. Suffering emerges from our attachment to how things should be. Your breath softens. Shoulders drop. You're no longer fighting the moment, you're witnessing it. In the veterinarian's examination room later, waiting before surgery, you understand, the will isn't your enemy. It's a current you can observe, not a tide that drowns you. Equals the person you thought you'd become sits beside the person you actually are, and for the first time, they make peace. Your hands, once clenched, now rest open. Moonlight filters through blinds, creating silver lines across the sterile floor. Compassion rises, not just for yourself, but for every version of you that has struggled, that has tried, that has survived. The transformation is complete. You are no longer fighting the current, you are the river. Equals understanding the shift is one thing. Here is how you practice it, starting today. The support group room smells like stale coffee and desperation, soft lamplight casting orange rectangles across linoleum. You're sitting across from your ex-spouse, the one you still co-parent with, still navigate carefully like a minefield. It's the anniversary of the loss you don't talk about, and your hands are trembling slightly around a styrofoam cup. Desire recognition starts here. Not with grand gestures, but with this moment, seeing how your unconscious will drives you. Your jaw tightens. You're here because something inside you knows something needs healing, even if you can't name it yet. The first technique, compassion mapping. Take your suffering and expand it. Everyone in this room carries something heavy. The woman with the gray sweater, the man whose hands never stop moving, they're not strangers. They're mirrors. Your ex reaches for the communal notepad. Your chest feels tight, compressed. You both know what today means, the child you lost, the grief you never processed together. But today, something shifts. You recognize the blind, irrational will that kept you both spinning in old patterns. On the rooftop later, city lights bleeding through morning mist, you call your aging parent. Some days they recognize you, some days not. Today, you're practicing radical acceptance. Not fixing. Not controlling. Just witnessing. The second technique, aesthetic suspension. Equals find moments that temporarily lift you from suffering's grip. For you, it's this rooftop. The way dawn light catches glass and steel. How city sounds drift up, distant traffic, a car alarm, pigeons shuffling. Your parent's voice wavers on the phone. You breathe. You listen. You're learning to see beyond the immediate, to recognize the larger current carrying you. At the high school reunion, tax documents still unsigned in your bag, you spot the estranged family member. Sunday evening dread pools in your stomach. But something has changed. You're not here to resolve everything. You're here to witness. The world is representation. Your suffering is optional. Your transformation starts not in grand moments, but right here, in this breath, in this choice to see differently. Once you have practiced these techniques, the next step is weaving them into daily life. You're standing in the Airbnb kitchen at 6:47 a.m., morning light bleeding through cheap IKEA curtains, your packed suitcase already by the door. Your spouse moves around you like a ghost, carefully avoiding eye contact. The betrayal sits between you, heavy as the ceramic mug in your hands, cold as the granite countertop. Your fingers trace the rim of the coffee mug. You know the storm is coming. Not the external drama, the internal reckoning. Each movement is calculated. Fold the towels precisely, wipe down the counter, check the room for forgotten items. This is not about cleaning. This is about control. This is about recognizing the blind will that has driven your relationship, your choices, your entire narrative. In the plant nursery greenhouse at 2:15 p.m., surrounded by verdant green and humid air, your fear stands beside you. Not metaphorically, literally. It has a shape. Translucent. Watching. The terracotta pots feel cool against your palms. Your breath catches. You understand now, the fear is not something to fight, but to recognize. To see. To acknowledge its presence without being consumed. Later, in your home office, the video call screen reflects your coworker's triumphant smile. The promotion you wanted, deserved, now belongs to someone else. Your jaw tightens. Shoulders rise toward your ears. But something has shifted. You are not the reaction. You are the space around the reaction. Compassion rises. Not for them. Not against them. Just compassion. The blind will that drives competition, ambition, desire, you see it now. Transparent. Workable. Transformable. By evening, something has changed. Not dramatically. Subtly. Like light shifting across a room. You are learning to watch the will, not be consumed by it. To recognize its movements without becoming its prisoner. This is not perfection, it is direction. Let us bring this full circle. Remember where we started? 8 parts ago, you were drowning in the blind, relentless current of desire, a puppet dancing to the strings of an irrational will. Now, you understand something deeper. In the hotel room at 3 a.m., moonlight bleeding through thin curtains, your teenage daughter's nightmare echoes in the silence. Her body trembles, caught between childhood and something unknown. You realize, this moment isn't about controlling her pain, but witnessing it. Your hand hovers near her shoulder, not to fix, but to acknowledge. The will that once demanded you solve everything now understands compassion. At the construction site during lunch break, your mentor's expectations hang heavy as midday heat. You're sitting on a concrete block, dust coating your work boots, replaying their conversation. But instead of shame or rebellion, you see the blind will operating through both of you, expectations, desires, unmet needs. The tension in your shoulders softens. You are not your mentor's disappointment. You are not your own. In the hospital break room at 4 a.m., fluorescent light replaced by a soft emergency exit sign's red glow, you face your estranged sibling. 5 minutes before an irreversible deadline. Your chest feels tight, breath shallow. But something has shifted. The will that once demanded victory now understands connection. Schopenhauer understood, we are not separate from suffering, we are suffering. But we can choose how we meet it. Equals not by fighting, but by seeing. Not by controlling, but by witnessing. Your transformation isn't about eliminating desire. It's about understanding its currents. Recognizing when the blind will drives you. Choosing compassion over conquest. Art over aggression. Connection over competition. If this opens something in you, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Share this with someone ready to hear it. Drop a comment, what insight hit you hardest? Watch the video appearing on screen now. Your transformation starts not tomorrow, right now, in this breath, in this choice.